The lighting does not want to cooperate today. I don't know what's going on. Anyways, hi everyone, my name is Shauna, in case you don't know, and welcome back to another video. Yesterday was Valentine's Day, February 14th, today is the 15th, and I thought what perfect time to be recommending some books with romance in it. So I was going through my favorite romance tropes and I was like, I might as well recommend some Friends to Lovers, because Friends to Lovers are always so sweet, and when I think of Valentine's Day, like Friends to Lovers comes to mind because it's such a sweet trope. Like Enemies to Lovers is good, but it can be like angsty. So I'm just gonna be doing Friends to Lovers recommendations today, and I hope that all of you find some new awesome books from this video. So first off, I'm recommending a series that is really popular, and it's a graphic novel series, but it's one that I feel like not everyone has read. So if you haven't read this graphic novel series, I highly recommend all of you to read it as soon as possible. And this one that I'm talking about is Heartstopper. I have the first two volumes right here. I haven't read volume 3 and 4 yet, but I have read volume 1 and 2. The 5th volume is going to be coming out at some point in the nearish future, and it'll be the final volume. Heartstopper is such a sweet series that I feel like really captures Valentine's Day and the vibes that I like on Valentine's Day. It's about these two guys, Nick and Charlie, and Nick and Charlie become friends before they become lovers, and it is so sweet and wholesome. It's about discovering who you are and sort of like slowly realizing that and slowly coming to terms with it, and it's just so wholesome and perfect. This series is by Alice Osman, who is a fantastic author. I highly recommend this series to everyone, even if it doesn't seem like your jam. I think you'll still like it. I feel like everyone has something that they can like about this series. The next book that I'll be recommending is a book called Silence by Natasha Preston. There is some very hard topics in this book, so I highly recommend checking out the trigger warnings for this book. This book is about a girl with selective mutism, which basically means that she doesn't really like speak or communicate, and she has a reason for why she doesn't speak or communicate, and it is explained in the book what that reason is. But she has this best friend that she ends up falling in love with. It is a very sweet Friends to Lovers. It's free on the iBooks and Kindle store quite a bit. I really enjoyed it. It is possibly my favorite book that I've ever gotten for free off of the iBooks store. It is so fantastic and sweet and wholesome. The romance is done so slowly but beautifully. I highly recommend that everyone read Silence, but again, check the trigger warnings because there is some really hard stuff in there. The next book I'll be recommending is a series, and romance is a big part of the story, but this series isn't specifically just romance. And this series is the Article 5 series by Kristen Simmons, and I've explained in the past why I don't have a book jacket for the first book. So the Article 5 series follows these two characters named Ember and Chase, and they have been best friends, and they live in a dystopian world. And the main character's Ember's mom broke rules to have Ember, and so Ember is taken away and her mom is taken away. And the story is about Ember's fight to try and find her mom and to escape and to rebel against the dystopian society that they're in. But there's also such beautiful romance in here. Kristen Simmons is one of the best romance writers that I've ever met. However, most of her books are like dystopian or like contemporary with romance as a side plot. But all of her romances are so believable and beautiful, and this one in particular, I love this romance so much. Ember and Chase might be one of my favorite couples of all time. I just am obsessed with the romance in this series. And my final recommendation for this video is A Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. I've read A Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue and A Gentleman's Guide to Getting Lucky, which, by the way, I didn't know what getting lucky meant until I read that book, and I like got the audiobook on a family shared Audible account, not knowing what that phrase meant. Yeah, it was a little awkward, but like, my parents haven't brought it up to me, so I guess it's fine. A Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue is a series that's historical fiction, fantasy, and LGBTQ+ with romance as a side plot, but the romance is Friends to Lovers. It happens like really gradually, but it's so like beautiful, and you're just like rooting for them to get together from the very start. I've only read those two books in the series, although the series is longer, and I'm hoping to continue this series at some point. I definitely recommend giving this series a chance if you haven't tried it already. And also, speaking of this series, there's something that I want to address. I've been wanting to address for quite some time, but I haven't really had the right like platform to address it, like opportunity, I guess. Platform is the right word. I just haven't found the right time to address it, and I feel like, you know what, I'll just address it right now. This book gets quite a bit of hate because the main character, Monty, likes all genders, and the author said that he would be unlabeled. And people say that that's bi erasure because he likes all genders and he could be like pan or bi. However, as someone who doesn't label their romantic attraction, I felt seen by Monty, and just keep that in mind. Like, you don't have to label your romantic attraction, and that isn't taking away from the other identities. It's just giving representation to someone who doesn't want to use labels, which unlabeled people are so valid. So I really liked this book and how there isn't a label on him, because I thought that was like really cool, and I related to that, and I feel like a lot of other people will relate to that and realize that, oh, you don't need labels to be valid and to identify in the LGBT LGBTQ+ community. So yeah, these are all my recommendations for the video. I know this video was very short, but I hope that you found some good recommendations in this video. If you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to me if you haven't already. I hope all of you had a fantastic Valentine's Day. I'm not really the biggest Valentine's Day celebrator. I mean, I like romance books, so I guess I, to some extent, like Valentine's Day, but I'm not really into like dating, so like Valentine's Day is more like Galentine's Day for me, so like I more just appreciate all of my friends during Valentine's Day, I guess is a way to say it. I upload videos 2 times a week, so my next video will be uploaded this Friday. I hope to see all of you there for that video. All my other social media will of course be linked down in the description below, and until next time, goodbye!